You ready?
I feel like I have something sleepy in my eyes.
Y'all, Jazz is not here for this episode. She's here, but she's not here. She's here, but she's not here.
I'm here.
She's not a lit black girl today.
I am
because
lit.
She's not
I'm
drinking.
forever lit.
Okay? I'm drinking by myself today, but I'll give her a pass.
It's late.
Yes, and she has to drive home.
And I gotta work.
And she watched Harper.
For a little bit. Not long. I did my good deed of the day. Maybe I do need to drink after watching Harper. Just kidding. I'll drink when I get home.
Sometimes I need to drink after watching Harper. But hey, Lit Set. How are you doing? I'm Nakia.
I'm Jasmine.
And this is Black Girl Lit.
Where we get lit, but not really today.
While reading lit. I might get lit. She gonna have to go to work till 12 tomorrow.
Oh, I gotta go to work at 7:30. Well, I gotta be to work. We'll see. I get up at 5. Let's just put it that way.
Alright, y'all. So the book we're talking about, we mentioned in our last video. It is The Poet X by Elizabeth Acevedo. I'm gonna say that's how you say it, or Acevedo. But I'm
I like the
that.
accent that you put on the other.
You don't know. I took some Spanish in high school, so un poquito. I have some Latino co-workers at Chipotle, so I can speak with them a little bit. I say un poquito. I say hola, good morning, buenos dias.
So when I was doing an accent last episode, you gave me side eye, but okay.
Because it wasn't even on a Spanish word.
Okay. And I'm pleasantly shocked that not only did I pick a YA book, I picked a book that I like. Like, what is
this is
happening
the first
to me?
YA book that you picked, because Margot was like my pick and you wanted to read it.
Yeah, like what is happening to me? I didn't know I was going to like it, but I like it.
What is this?
I don't know where that came from.
Okay.
Whatever.
So, yeah, we're not gonna get into that. So we're getting into our first segment of this episode, which you all know. Always we're gonna talk about the author. So Elizabeth is from New York City. She is the youngest child and the only daughter of Dominican immigrants. So she has all brothers. She has her BA. She got it from the Performing Arts at George Washington University and an MFA in Creative Writing from the University of Maryland. Okay, girl, you've been in the DMV. I see you. She likes to write poetry and fiction. She loves language. She says reading and writing changed the course of her life and how she better understands herself. And this is not her official bio. This is like the personal one that she has on her website. But she has books including Beast Girl and Other Origin Myths, The Poet X, and With the Fire on High. So this book that we have here is her second novel. And yeah, she lives in DC right now with her love.
Aww. She looks like Ernestine.
She looks like Sanaa Lathan.
She looks like, she looks like a mix between, if y'all ever watch Underground, she looks like Ernestine and Sanaa Lathan had a baby.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to find a picture and we'll put them up.
Because
I don't know Ernestine. But yeah, that's Elizabeth. She seems very cool.
I can show you.
I'm gonna have to look her up. She in DC. You know, I be up there all the time.
Do you?
Okay. So just to give y'all a little precursor before Jazz gets into her thriving, flourishing segment, aka the book synopsis.
The synopsis.
This book is written in all verse. So every single part of it is a poem.
Okay. Anyway,
all right, go ahead and flourish and thrive, Jazz.
I don't know how flourishing and thriving I'm gonna do, but so the Poet X, like Nakia said, is written completely in verse. It's all a fictional, novelized book of poems, I guess you could say, and it is all told from the Omora perspective. She's a 15-year-old girl in high school who is struggling with a lot of different things. Struggling with her parents, feeling like her parents are forcing her into Catholicism really deeply. Also dealing with her body starting to fill out, so she's getting a lot of attention. But then also she's not able to really act on that attention from men because she's been told that basically men are bad and she should never deal with men.
Right.
She's also trying to find herself while growing up in the hood. Her brother, she calls him, or twin, she calls him a genius, and just she's kind of dealing with that perspective. But then she also meets a boy, and she tries to see how that can work out in her life when she meets this boy. And it's just her struggles and her trying to get through everything. Like all of our teenage angsty stories, because this is another YA book.
It is not teenage angsty.
I feel like they're all angsty. I feel like every teenager is angsty. They all got issues, they all got struggles, and that's okay because they're still trying to figure it out.
Angst. Deep anxiety or dread, typically an unfocused one about the human condition for the state of the world in general.
Okay, they're
angsty is a good word. It just has a negative connotation.
They're angsty.
The denotation is good, but the connotation is negative. Give me my book.
But this is the story. Basically, it's just her trying, and which we'll get to like reactions and stuff. But basically, it is Xiomara Batista trying to get through life as a Dominican mommy in Harlem, with her mommy and papi don't like her like that, and she's just trying to get through it. You know what I'm saying? That's what the book is about. And she meets this paquisito named my mom. You know what I'm saying? And they just, you know.
But mom's like from the islands.
I know, but still, she's Dominican, so she probably talks like that. So, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it's like, and that's what it's about. And that is how I thrive today. Thank you.
And thank you.
You're welcome.
Wow, because that was just gonna keep going. Stream of consciousness, Latina accent.
It may come back.
Let's.
Because I am going to the Dominican in September, so I need to practice. So,
but that's okay. That's like a whole other country. I feel like that's Puerto Rico. Anywho,
I need to work on it. We'll come back. I need to talk to some Dominicans. We'll be back.
Alright, we're gonna get into our reactions. I didn't write a lot for reactions. I had a lot of stuff for major scenes and topics. So my reactions were like, initially when I opened this book, I wrote, it's written in verse. Ugh. I was so upset. I hate that. I read this other book. What was it called? The Fool. But okay, what was I saying? Every time I get a book that I see written in verse, when I initially see it, I'm dreading it. But then as I start reading it, I forget that it's in verse and I'm okay. And the only other reaction I have is that I wrote that Twin is perfect for his parents. That was just something I noticed throughout the novel through Xiomara's words.
Twin and Caridad?
Yes, I think that's her name.
How you pronounce Caridad?
Yes, in Spanish you roll your R, so I just
Caridad. Yes. Okay, so I only had really one reaction, and it was hers. It was Novelized Book of Poems. Weird to read at first.
Okay, we're in sync. Okay.
Because it was really, at first, I will be honest, it took me a little bit longer to read this book because it's written in verse, and I'm used to books kind of flowing seamlessly together, just, you know, like a book is supposed to be. And this was like poem, next thing, poem, next thing, poem, next thing. And I was just like, they're not cohesive. It's just all kind of, it was a little scattered in the beginning, but then it started gelling together.
Thank you. Like, Jazz, come on.
It wasn't cohesive in the beginning, but then they gelled together, and then it made sense. But continue.
Alright, major scenes and topics. This lip, she has no drink in her system. All this lip popping and everything. Oh my god.
I'm just high. I'm just lit off life. Okay, because I am blue black girl lit. Okay. So my topics were religion, sexuality, body image, and family conflict / abuse.
I didn't write down topics, so.
Oh, I had topics this time. Okay, I had topics. You didn't. I go ahead.
I agree with that. So I had major scenes.
Okay,
I had a lot. Y'all. Oh yeah, I did write down questioning faith and religion. Yeah,
okay, that's good. That's good. So I didn't have a lot of major scenes. There was one.
Girl,
there was one poem that really stuck out to me.
Which one?
It was.
What page it was on?
It was. I did not write what page it was. It was the most impactful day poem when she was talking about when she first got her period, and she had gone to the store and got some tampons, and then her mama like,
yeah. Oh, she was gonna turn that in for an assignment, but she didn't.
Yeah.
Her mom is super.
That's the family conflict and abuse, because her mother's treatment of her was abusive. I was gonna say borderline abusive, but no, it was straight. It was straight.
It was because her mom, like you learn in the book, her mom wanted to be a nun, but then her and her father
got married,
like an arranged marriage. Her and her husband had an arranged marriage. It's really weird. It's a whole bunch of craziness.
Crazy. Yeah. Go ahead, girl. What's your major scene?
Oh, so this on page 5 is a poem called "Unhideable," and it's talking about self-image and the image and expectations that society put on you. So because Xiomara, she is a full-figured girl, you know, she has boobs, she has a butt, so she's getting attention from men and from boys, and sometimes some unwanted attention, and people assume that she is loose and she is fast because she's developing like that. And I think that's something that happens in the black community too, like when a young girl gets boobs, like I taught 4th and 5th grade, and I had a 4th grader whose boobs was bigger than mine. So, you know, typically in the black community, people think, oh, that girl is fast and she needs to cover up and she needs to dress this way. So Xiomara is dealing with that, her self-image, and then what society expects her to be, and then also what her mom expects her to be.
Yeah, because her mother's raising her child to be extremely religious, and so Xiomara is stuck in this place where, like, I don't want this attention, but I kind of want this attention, but I don't know what to do with this attention because I'm not supposed to feel any type of way about boys or my sexuality. So she's kind of grappling with that throughout the story. What's your next story?
So the book is actually broken up into like 3 parts, I think, and each of them has kind of like a religious or scripture reference, because I noted that part 2 was named "And the Words Became Flesh." So that's like, I don't know where that is from the Bible.
It's in there.
God was doing something, and that's from the Bible.
He was shaking. He was shaking stuff up.
Like, I felt that it reminded me of the Bible.
And the words became flesh.
I'm not a Bible scholar, so Daddy, if you watch my videos, drop down a comment below where that scripture is, "And the words became flesh," or I'm gonna have to find it and put it down on the screen. But a lot of like scripture references. And then in part 2, that's where she actually recites her first poem. Because in the beginning, she's a poet, but in the beginning, she just writes. In the beginning, she writes her poems in a notebook, and she doesn't share them with anyone.
And then she joins the Poetry Slam Club.
Yes.
And she starts to actually recite her poems.
Ooh, y'all, there's a poem called Fingers, and it's about masturbation.
How did I know that this was going to come up?
Okay. But y'all, okay, I'm gonna read it.
Oh God.
In bed at night, my fingers search, a heat I have no name for, sliding into a center, finding a hidden core, or stem, or maybe the root. I'm learning how to caress and breathe at the same time, how to be silent and feel something grow inside me. And when it all builds up, I sink into my mattress. I feel such a release, such a relief. I feel such a shame, settle like a blanket covering me head to toe. To make myself feel this way is a dirty thing, right? Then why does it feel so good? And you have to admit, that's how everybody feels after they masturbate.
Even now as an adult.
It feels good while you're doing it, and then afterwards you're like,
you really discuss it with yourself.
who am I? But then you be like, yeah.
But is this what I become? Is this what I resort to?
Let me go wash my hands and my
Is this what I was looking at to get there?
But I appreciated this poem, and even though it's a YA book, these are issues that anyone of any age, any demographic can deal with, Jasmine. And it doesn't matter that the characters are young adults, okay? It's just a book marketed to young adults. So we don't even care. We're talking about the topics, okay?
The topics.
Doesn't matter that it has this YA sticker up here, Jasmine.
Okay? The topics.
Yeah.
The meat of the issue.
There was a quote on page 188, and let me see the title of the poem first. Okay, so this one is called "Around and Around We Go," and the quote I pulled out was, "And I think about all the things we could be if we were never told our bodies were not built for them." So I think this is the issue. I think she's talking about her family and her brother. So her brother is dealing with some identity things. And of course, as we talked about, hint, hint, Xiomara is dealing with some physical identity things and also with religion. And so she's grown up being told, like, your body's not for this, you can't do this, you can't do that. And her brother, the same thing. So she's just thinking about all the things that she could be if she didn't have all these restrictions or wasn't being told that you can't do these certain things. And I just think that's a really powerful quote. And I think this book is powerful because it's all about words, and you have to realize that your words have power. And the Bible does say that the power of life and death lies in your tongue. So your words do have power. We grew up saying, you know, sticks and stones may break my bones, but words may never hurt me. But words do take effect.
Words are very powerful.
Take power.
So while she's getting herself together, so I have a quote of my own, and it is on, I don't know what page, it's location 689. But it says, "What's the point of God giving me life if I can't live it as my own?" That's deep. That's deep. And like I said, she's struggling with trying to find her own self-identity because she's getting pulled into completely different direction. And it's worth noting that her parents treat her and her twin brother completely different. And even from their birth, her parents have kind of looked at her as being the problem child because she was breached.
Right. And with that quote made me think about when I was reading this book, I was thinking about questioning religion. I think that's what I wrote down as one of my topics, questioning faith and religion. And me, I grew up as a Christian. I still am a Christian. I believe in Jesus.
Jesus.
I don't want to say but I believe that religion is all about, it's not even about religion for me. Now that I'm older, it's all about relationship. So there are some things that I grew up being told that I don't agree with now, but that's my personal thing. And also the Bible says to work out your own soul salvation. So you have to work out your own relationship with God. So I can really get with Xiomara and her questioning everything. Like, there's just topics that the church is strongly against and they say the Bible is strongly against, but I'm not strongly against those things. Like, I feel like, you know, women should have the right to get an abortion if they want an abortion.
Pro-choice.
You know, do I want people to get them? No, but that's not my right to tell somebody what to do with their body.
That's my business.
The church is against homosexuality.
That is my business.
I feel like if you're gay, you're gay. That's your life, and you got to take that up with God. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not here to police everybody and what they're doing.
No.
And I know people who I grew up with and my family may not disagree with how I feel about things, but I got plenty of gay people that are part of my life that I love and that care about me. And I got people that I know that have had abortions, and is God gonna burn them in hell for that? I don't know, but I'm not gonna burn them here on earth. And and I think that's the lesson that Xiomara is learning throughout this novel, is to develop her own relationship and her own views and to do what's best for her. Ooh, sorry, it got a little heavy.
But no, that's really true, because I feel the same way. I feel like we were taught, especially in the Black community or I'd say lots of communities of color, where you were brought up in with the religion. You're kind of taught that anything that you do that goes against God or the Bible, you're gonna burn in hell. And I'm like, well, dang, that's
right. And her mom like used to make her pray on rice.
Kneel on rice.
Something bad. Like that's abuse.
That is abuse. I told you it's abuse. But yeah, but I feel like it's like you said, it's all about your relationship with God and your level of spirituality. I don't think that you have to go to a brick building every Sunday to say that you are a Christian, because as soon as you leave that building, you can go kill somebody. That doesn't.
The Bible says we are the church. So
exactly. So it's about your relationship and how you live your life and how you show the world your relationship with God.
And as long as you have that personal relationship with God, then nobody can take that from you.
And which anybody else do, that ain't my business. As long as you're not bringing any harm to me and mine.
Right. I seen this quote on the internet that says, "Mind the business that pays you." Okay, honey.
Dropping dimes today.
I think this is my second to last one.
Second to last. Okay.
So throughout the novel, so Xiomara meets Amon or whatever, and the first time she recites a poem was with him, and he gave her the name Poet X. And I thought about that, and I was like, I wrote down, I was thinking that it sucked that Xiomara did not get her identity or poetry name until she was with Amon, but this poem shows otherwise. On page 259 it says, "When I'm done," and she spoke a poem in front of the poetry class, and this stanza says, "Not since Amon, but it's nice to know I don't need him in order to feel listened to." So she was saying she hadn't recited a poem out loud since she was with him, but she's realizing, okay, I don't need him to have this power, to have power over my words. So I appreciated that she didn't need a man to have her identity. Thank you, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Elizabeth.
You gotta speak black girl hands.
Look, you gotta put my black girl hand in here at least once a video. Yes, it is.
Oh, when she talked about this quote from Psalms 119, 130, "The unfolding of your words gives light. It gives understanding to the simple." And I think this poem, or this assignment that she wrote, sums up everything in the novel that she was talking about. And basically, she's like, the Bible is a book of metaphors, and that it can be talking about multiple things at one time, and that the word speaks to different people in different ways. And that's basically, I feel like, what me and Jess are talking about. It's just, I feel like that last is powerful. I'm not gonna read it to y'all because I won't give everything away.
Yeah.
It's just really powerful, and it just sums up that your words have power, and different words have different meanings to different people at different times. So you have to glean from it what you can glean at that time in your life, because you may read something at one point in your life and it means one thing, and then you may read at another time in your life where you're going through something different, and it's going to change the meaning for you. And I think that goes hand in hand with, you know, religion and everything that was being talked about in this novel.
I agree.
And I'm done.
She ran this whole episode herself. I just been here for decoration or whatever.
No, but I come to the realization that I like poetry.
No,
You know, 'cause
are you gonna
love
start
my
writing
interlude.
poetry?
No, I suck at writing poetry.
Okay, well,
I used to, but
poetry doesn't have to rhyme. It
I
just
know.
could be just some.
I like reading and analyzing. I think I can really read and analyze. I mean, I could be a poet analyzer. We on the spot rating today, y'all. So it's your favorite part of the show. Hey, we gonna rate. I took your spot, Jazz. I'm sorry, I'ma rate this book. We gonna rate this book.
I'm just here.
Rate it and rate it and rate. So y'all know this is your favorite segment. So we have sober, we have buzz, and we have tipsy, and we have lit. That was the fastest we ever went through that, and I got it right. Woo! Boom! Drop the mic on.
Look at Nakia. She ran this whole episode. You all know what I'm saying?
I'm flourishing.
She's a black queen. She's a black girl and she lives. Okay, super. Okay.
Do you want to rate first? I don't know my rating yet. I'm trying to think.
I guess I will rate first.
Okay.
So off the dome piece, I'm gonna give it a tipsy. Okay, it's probably more of a lit book though. It's more of a lit than this tipsy. Or maybe it's a lit tipsy lit for me. And mainly because I think the reason why I don't want to go full lit is because, like I said, it was just really hard for me to read in the beginning. Because I think this is the first book that I've ever really read that was written in verse. And so for me, I was
my
like,
third one, so you know.
I was like, what is this? I ain't never been to this place before. I get strip search and stuff. I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna come back here because y'all is weird. But once I got through, you know, saw some homies in the spot, I was like, okay, I'll let you know and hang out here for a little bit. So
Somebody switched your roofie.
So I was like, okay, it's good. But no, seriously, I like the book because I think it touched on some really important topics. I think it gave some good perspective. And I think anytime a book can have you thinking about things going on in your life or questioning some things that you feel or your beliefs or your morals or whatever the case may be, I think that's a good book. So I think for that, I think that's why it leans more on the lit side than the tipsy side. So for me, it is a lit tipsy lit. Somewhere my little thing is between the two.
A meter graphic.
Between the two.
Right in between.
Yeah.
You know, to your point where you're talking about books written in verse, like I said, this is my third one, and I just realized all of them I've read have been about like foreign people. Like the first one I read was about an Asian person. I think they were from Vietnam. Then the second one I read, she was Japanese and African American. She was mixed, and it was in the 70s. And then this person is Dominican. I wonder why that is.
I don't know.
Interesting.
Interesante.
So my rating, I came up with it a little bit after Jazz did first. It's lit. I like it because but it's a lit.
I don't know what that was.
Oh, that's from that Ludacris song.
No, I don't know. I know what it was, but I don't know why we did that. That's what I was saying. I don't know.
It's like all the DJ sounds.
Oh.
I don't know why I did guns though. But I'm moving this part. I don't know. Wow. That went left. So the reason why I gave this book a lit is because it's very thought-provoking, but it is lit, like I said, because of the topics. I agree with Jazz on that. After the first, probably, y'all see I had something from page 5, so probably after the first 4 pages I was over the fact that it was written in verse. And I low-key had to stop reading because I had gotten so far in the book, and we wanted to stay on pace with each other, so I had to slow down a little bit. And I appreciated that there were a lot of Spanish words and Spanish parts, and some of them she didn't translate.
No.
And I appreciate that, because you gotta go look some stuff up, okay? All right, this is America, and we are an amalgamation of cultures.
Ooh,
we're like a tossed salad, not a mixing pot. We're not all melt together. We're like a tossed salad, little pieces. So you just gotta, oh, this is Spanish. Let me go look that up. I appreciate that, To my Dominican people, thank you for giving us Elizabeth Acevedo.
Thank you.
And that is it for this book.
Yay!
Jazz did not get lit.
I'm lit off light, guys.
Before we end, we want to tell you the next book that we're going to read. I have not started reading it. Have you?
No.
Wow, this is a first.
I know.
We are reading Hollywood Homicide by Kelly Garrett.
Yeah, this is my pick. How I picked it, Amazon.
It's an adult novel. It's the first in a new series. Yeah, it's a mystery novel. Unfortunately, we probably won't have an episode next week because
we got some
adult
views.
life, yes. So now Jessica gonna make me go through all this footage and put some bloopers together. So next week's video is going to be a blooper reel because we have adult things to do.
Adult lives.
And we won't have time to record our review, but we will be back as soon as we can. And like I said, that's it for this video. And there she goes shaking her boobs again. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure you drop some comments down below about how you feel about the topics that we discussed, how you feel about the book if you've read it, or once you read this book, you know, give us some feedback. We want you to
rate, comment, and subscribe, and engage with
There we go. That's what I was
I was like, I didn't know what she was ready for.
You don't remember how many times you said it?
I like to engage.
Back on it.
Engage with us.
If you
engage with us. Whenever to be engaged with us.
And follow us on Instagram at blackgirllit_YT. You can follow Jasmine at Lenny Nora. So cute. And you can follow me at Nikia Jalen. Subscribe to my channel. This is where Black Girl Lit series lives, thrives, flourishes, grows, breathes, all of that stuff. Yeah. So, but you know, if y'all get these videos just get shot, then we're just gonna have another whole YouTube page because you know our lit set is just gonna grow. Y'all better catch this wave. You know,
ride the wave
before it get too big and you gonna
drive the boat.
But that's all I have for today. That's all I have.
That's all I have.
Anything for the good of the order?
What? Oh no, I've never heard that saying before.
If all hearts and minds are clear, that is all we have for today. And as always, stay Black Girl Lit.
Was that the benediction?
I felt right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Stay Black Girl Lit.
Stay Black Girl Lit, y'all.
Bye.
Bye.